Hello and welcome back to Cormac on Car. You won't get in the Audi TTs because they spend most of their time looking at the hair. Try and get out like that. Or after you hurt yourself, so fasten up your seatbelts because this is going to be a quick ride. With the Audi, they talk about this quattro system. But we've got a bit of a tank slapper there. So we're going to open it up a little bit. Covered in mud, and it gets us out of the dirt. Proper quattro four-wheel drive system. Hello and welcome back to Cormac on Cars, the channel where we bring informative car information. And today's video is all about affordable sporty coupes from the early to mid 2000s. Now, what we have here in front of me is a 2008 generation of Audi's very iconic A5. But there are a couple of questions that I want to answer. Is this a sports coupe in itself? And is it as good as the Audi A4? And what are its main rivals? What's it like to drive and what's it like to live with? That is the questions I'm going to answer for you right here as well. So I hope you all enjoy this video as you join me behind the wheel. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So let's have a look inside the Audi. First of all, let's talk about the seats. One thing that I like most and is very, very appealing to me on the Audi is that you can bring the front of the seat up like that. So you can get really comfy and get your legs into the right position that you like to drive in. I like that. Another feature I think is so cool is to see this front cushion here. You won't be able to see this well on the driver's side, so I'll show you on this passenger side. This front cushion here, you can slide forward and or have back. I think that really allows you to extend your legs and looks even better as well. The only downside is that just feel a bit plasticky and a bit flimsy. It feels like it's going to break off in your hand any second. Not what you would expect from a sports car. Another couple of things that I like. This is another nice feature. I know a lot of cars have this, but I like it. It works well in here. The Audi, you can have your armrest here, so when you're driving along, or if that feels uncomfortable, you can have it all the way forward like this, and it just allows you to rest your arm on there while you're changing gear. Another thing that's really important and is a nice little finishing touch is, which you won't get in the Audi TTs because they spend most of their time looking at the hair, which you don't in this. This little sunglass holder, that is just awesome. Or you could hide some other things in there as well, like drugs if you're an Audi driver. Now, one of the most important things about driving on a long journey or even on a short journey is your cup holders. This is an essential for me. So the Audi's worked really rather very well. You've got a small one and a big one. So the big one is perfect for your monster juiced, if you're a raving diabetic. And if you want a bit of a scratch and sniff, then it's perfect for your air freshener as well. Love that. I think that's a nice touch. To the left of the cup holders, you've got this nice little cubby hole here. And it's perfect when you're driving along and your phone's connected, which you can answer on here. You can have it next to you and hands-free, and it's the perfect size for the iPhone. Now, tomorrow's world never saw the phone coming, and Audi come along, put this in here. You can have your phone next to you. Here, you slide this back. You've got your USB charger and space for your spare change. A couple of things I don't like though. Considering Audi call this a sporty car, it just feels a bit flimsy and plasticky here as well. You know, that noise is what you don't expect from a sporty coupe. One thing that this does lack, and is a must for me, is a heated seat. I would have expected it to have a heated seat. It doesn't. The seats though, I think are fantastic. You've got proper like body hugging seats. You've got the bolsters on the side here that really fit nicely to your body here, and this bit here as well around your legs. That gives you the sportiness. It feels like the Recaro sporty seat, which this does. But the thing is, for me, it's got tremendous amount of headroom, which is good. So I'm going to be comfortable on a long journey when driving. Where it all falls apart though is in the back. Might just want to I want to try and get in without my trousers falling down and embarrassing all of you. So to get in, what you got to do is climb over this little lip or barrier or whatever you call it, and put in just there. Sort your way past this pillar on the car, and in you get. To get in, you've got to pull the seat all the way back, pull the seat down, and this is where it falls apart. Now, how do you call this a four-seater? Well, if that's so, I think they need to reimagine that, because this is where it all falls apart. I'm very, very uncomfortable here. I've got no headroom, so I'm sat crouched there. You can see my head, because I'm 6'1.5", my head is touching. Not only that, it's just very, very tight back here. My knees are actually resting against the back of the seat support, and it's just very, very uncomfortable. It almost feels very claustrophobic in here. But the only good thing is you've got a cup holder down here, which is virtually impossible to get to when you're sat in the back, and this armrest here, which I can't really get down because it's smacked into my leg as well. But the funny thing is getting out. So is this a sporty four-seater? The answer to that is, unless you've got a partner with really thin legs, or you're like anorexic or something like that, then it's perfect. But getting out is the interesting part. Pull the seat forward, and I'm going to attempt to try and get out. I think the only way, if I'm going to fully be able to put in here, is if you saw off bits of you and then put them back on when you get back in. But getting out, see, when I get out of a car, I like to hold on to like a little handle or into like a little cubby hole, which you don't really have on the top. You've got this little parcel like shelf thing, no, not parcel shelf, little cubby hole here, but it just feels like it's going to break every time you get into it. So you've got to like position yourself at an angle, pop your legs out like you're giving birth. Or we're falling down. Get onto this handle here. Oh, I've got stuck. There we go. And try and get out like that. There we go. So now let's have, after you hurt yourself and giving yourself a proper gym exercise, so let's have a look around the car. Let's start with the front. Even though Audi call this a sporty car, it really isn't, because above this you've got your S5s and then your RS5s as well. What I also like from the side is that it gives you reminders that it is four-wheel drive. On the front particularly, there is a badge that says Quattro, and you get this throughout it as well. Inside the car, it gives you a reminder that it is Audi's proper four-wheel drive system. I know you get this on a lot of cars, but I think it works particularly well with Audis. You know, this line that comes all the way up through to the whole car, and it's not just on the top, it's on the bottom here, and it gives you that chunkiness. But compared to the Audi RS5, that is a lot wider, and you got a bigger front splitter, and you know, it sits low and it looks nicer. But is it just worth justifying that money for it when this is already a powerful car with the 3-litre engine that is in this? From the back, it also looks really nice as well. What Audi have done with this is thought about it. It's a nicely sort out car. So what I'm going to be showing you is a little trick to bypass the soft limiter on this. And I don't know if any Audi A5 drivers know this, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of a trick. Put your foot on the clutch, start it up, let it do all of its beeping. Now, when you put the throttle on, this is in normal mode. It's got a soft limiter at 2,500 revs. Now, if I put the foot on the clutch again and do it like that, it's going to hold it at 2,500. Now, on the central dashboard here, if you hold down ESP, turns off the ASR, keep holding it down, and ESP is switched off. Now, even though the ESP is switched off, it's still going to hold it at 2,500. However, foot on the clutch, with ESP switched off, and it basically takes off that soft limiter and you red line it at about 3,900 revs, like that. For a diesel, Well, you know how a diesel usually sounds like it's the fuel is Satan, it sounds tingy and clackety, like, you know, like that kind of noise, and like it's going to like it's going to blow up at any moment. This really doesn't do any of that. It sounds really rather very good. For diesel, I'm impressed. Now that we've spoken about the car and talked about the interior and the outside, I think the most important thing to do now, and the most logical thing to do, is take it for a drive. And that's what we're going to do now. So fasten up your seatbelts, because this is going to be a quick ride. So behind the wheel of the Audi A5, and this is the more of the top of the range model. This has got the 3 litre turbo diesel 6-cylinder engine. So there are a range of engines you can get with this car. There's a choice of petrol and diesel, 2 litres, front or 4-wheel drive, or manual or automatic gearbox. This one we have here is the 4-wheel drive with the 6-speed manual gearbox. It has the 3 litre turbo diesel V6 with which standard produces 236 brake horsepower, 369 foot-pounds of torque, which is 500 newton meters. And because this is got the 4-wheel drive system, the power is so evenly distributed, but it's also well weighted, and you can feel what the power is doing and where it's going through the wheels. So when you come around the corner with confidence, you can feel it, and the steering is giving you all the feedback you need. I can feel the wheels turning in where I want to turn, and it's just a really nice place to be seated. It's very comfortable, it's not noisy, it's nicely thought out. And this is the good thing with Audi. Audi are a byword for very good quality cars. They know how to make a good car, and this is just a really nice place to be. But if the 3 litre is too much money for you to run, not to buy but to run, then you can look at the smaller engines, the petrol engines or the diesel, and have that as a, but they can with front-wheel drive, or you can have 4-wheel drive as well. And I think that they, if you're on a budget and you want a nice practical saloon car, then they would be better for you. Audis are exciting. There's a bit of theatre to an Audi, but with the Audi they talk about this quattro system, the 4-wheel drive system. I'm gonna come onto a little bit of grass just to show you that this is a proper 4-wheel drive system. It's not it's not like a car company says it's a 4-wheel drive system and then it only works part-time, because we have had to I was coming down a back lane on it the other day, like very much like this, and I had to pull over because there was a big tractor coming. There was nowhere else for me to go than on the grass. So I'm going to show you how good the 4-wheel drive system is with it, because it's a rather very good. And this is why I prefer Audis to BMW. I know I've contradicted myself there because I sound like a bit of a cock, but right, you see here we've got a normal bit of open back lane. I'm going to drop this down onto the grass and just show you that this is proper 4-wheel drive. So we come to an abrupt stop in first gear. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. The car feels like, well, we're in second gear and there's no problems whatsoever. And then we come back up on the curb. No problems whatsoever. So 4-wheel drive system gets 10 out of 10 for that as well. Audi, that is rather good. But with diesel engines, they usually feel like they're going to put a piston through the block. But this has got to be this is a very exciting diesel. It's very smooth, it's very quiet, it's not noisy, it doesn't rattle, it's not clangy or anything like you usually get with diesel cars. There you go, emergency stop. The brakes are very good. We did get a little bit of a slide there because we are in a bit of a muddy patch as well, and this is also going to allow me to test the 4-wheel drive system again. This isn't planned, so right, from an abrupt stop into first gear, Oh. Oh, we got a bit of a tank slapper there. That wasn't me messing around with no system turning the traction control off. It was just struggling for a little bit of grip. But the four-wheel drive system get me out of that. If you're in rear-wheel drive or in front-wheel drive, I think you would struggle. Back. So this car really has two kind of minds for it. It can be a sensible, very quiet, very what's the word I'm looking for? Mundane car. And then we're just driving normally. If you want to have a bit of a fun, drop it down again. And that turbo kicks in. So standard wise, this is running 236 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque, which equates to about 500 newton meters of torque. However, this has been modified, so it's running at 340 horsepower. We're coming onto the main road. This is where the Audi really comes into play. We've driven it sensible. Now we're going to open it up a little bit. When you run this kind of horsepower through an engine, you usually expect it to understeer very badly and it to be very, very front heavy and to get tremendous amounts of body roll. With this, I'm not getting any of that, apart from a little bit of minimal understeer when you go around the corner. So you've gone around the corner, cars wanting to go straight on. It's only minimal, and you don't really notice that in the smaller engine cars. But you do ever so slightly in this, because it's slightly front heavy with the big engine that's in it. You can notice it, but it's not that bad in hindsight. It's easy to live with. I do like all the controls. I like the fact that there's minimal controls on the steering wheel, but behind me you've got the indicators there, you've got your cruise control on that stalk below, and your windscreen wipers on this stalk here. You can have them on different speeds, and they just don't feel sporty. They just feel like they come out of a normal everyday hatchback or something like that. But with the power on here, I can just slow it through the corners, because I know that I can trust this car, and I can go around these corners, you know, as fast as I can without having to come off the power, because it's that well planted. It's a bit like having sticky tape on your wheels. It just sticks to the road. It's like glue. So you really have the confidence to come through the corners at some speed within the speed limit, and it is exciting fun, because usually you're having to think about power on, power off, or when should I put the power on, when should I put the power off. But this is absolutely fine. I like the fact that saying I need to change up into 5th gear now. I like that as well. I know you get that on a lot of cars, but it's good fun. But it's very, very economical for this car. You could get about 50 miles to the gallon in it, and it's, you know, if you drive it sensibly, and that's the good thing about a diesel. But you don't drive a diesel, you don't want to pick up a girl and talk to her about how you've saved £15 because you're driving at 30 miles an hour all the time, because she's just going to think you're a tie-tie. But anyway, I think that sums up. Should you buy an Audi over a BMW 3 and 5 Series? Yes, you should. But if budget is a big part of your car shopping buying, then I would recommend the smaller petrol engines. The 2 litres, yes, they come with front wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. I'd probably go for the manual versions in them, but in this I'd want the automatic flappy paddle gearbox. So I think that sums up today's video. Remember to make sure you like, subscribe to this video and share it as well, and we'll see you all soon for another Cormac on Cars video. Bye! Top, this is the 4-wheel drive motor, covered in mud, and it gets us out of the dirt. Proper quattro 4-wheel drive system. 4-wheel drive at its best from Audi.